Hello everyone. In this video, I'm going to read part 1 of chapter 4 of the Scarlet Letter, A Man Sent by the Devil. For 3 years, the man calling himself Roger Chillingsworth had made his home in the town. Only Hester Prynne knew the secrets of his past life, which he had put behind him, but he held the lock and key to her silence and felt quite safe. His plans had changed. There were new, darker arrangements to make, new secret things to do with his time. He had studied medicine and knew enough for other people to accept and welcome him as a doctor. Medical men were difficult to find in New England at that time. Soon after his arrival, he became friendly with Mr. Dimmesdale and made the young man his religious guide. It was at this time, however, that the young priest's health began to fail. He grew thin and pale. His voice, though still rich and sweet, now had a sadness and tiredness about it. And sometimes, when he became alarmed at something, he would put his hand over his heart and his eyes would fill with pain. The young priest was greatly respected in the town. People thought he was a selfless and deeply religious man. They worried that his long hours of study and hard work for the church were damaging to his health. So they were pleased when Roger Chillingsworth became a friend of the young man and also offered to be his doctor. "God has sent this man to help our priest," they said. But Mr. Dimmesdale would not listen to his friends, and he gently turned away all advice. "I need no medicine," he said. But how could he say so when each week his face became paler and thinner? His voice trembled more than before, and putting his hand over his heart became a habit. Was he tired of his work? Did he wish to die? The older priest put these questions to him and reminded him that refusing medical help, perhaps help sent by God, was a sin. Mr. Dimmesdale listened in silence and finally promised to take advice from the doctor. "Though if God wished it," he said, "I would be happy to leave behind my work, my worries, and my sins, and be buried in my grave." So this was how the mysterious Roger Chillingworth became the medical advisor of Mr. Arthur Dimmesdale. The two men, one young and one old, began to spend much time together, walking along beside the sea or in the forest, often collecting plants to use for making medicines. Chillingsworth watched and listened to his patient, asking questions carefully, digging deeper and deeper into the other man's thoughts and feelings. They spoke about public and private things, about health and religion, even about personal matters. But no secret, however much Chillingsworth suspected there was one, ever came out of their discussions. After a time, at the suggestion of Roger Chillingsworth, the friends of Mr. Dimmesdale arranged for the two men to live in the same house. They thought it was the best and most sensible arrangement, at least until Mr. Dimmesdale decided to marry some suitable young lady. Although for some reason they did not understand, the young man refused to even think about marriage. Now the good doctor could keep an even closer watch on their young friend's health. The house was next to the town's graveyard, and Mr. Dimmesdale had an apartment in the front of the building where he could enjoy the morning sun and where there was plenty of room for his many books. In rooms on the other side of the house, Roger Chillingsworth arranged his papers and the special things needed for making medicines. However, not all of the townspeople were happy. Many people suspected that the mysterious doctor was not all he pretended to be. One old man, who had come from London more than 30 years ago, was sure that Chillingsworth had lived in that city using another name. Others spoke of the change in the man since he had come to live in the town. At first, his expression had been calm, thoughtful, the face of a man who spent his time studying. Now there was something ugly and evil in his face. Some people even believed that Chillingsworth had been sent by the devil and was after the young priest's soul. Everyone, however, was confident that Mr. Dimmesdale would be the winner of the battle. As the months and years went by, the change in Roger Chillingsworth grew greater. He had begun with the calmness of a judge, wanting only to know the truth. But as he continued, the need to know burned in him like a fever, and he dug into the priest's soul like a man searching for gold. And poor Mr. Dimmesdale, sick at heart, too afraid to call any man his friend, could not recognize an enemy either. This concludes part 1 of chapter 4 of the Scarlet Letter. Thank you.